Glad to have you back. Now, cloud security architecture is a security strategy designed around securing an organization's data and applications in the cloud. It is critical extension of enterprise security and requires an architecture to connect it with an overall security approach. As more organizations shift and share their data in the cloud, the more important it becomes to have security architecture in place. The cloud can be delivered in multiple formats, such as cloud security. Architectures are designed to work in a combination of environments, as well as the public and private cloud. Security architecture works on the basis of shared responsibility between an organization and cloud service providers. This doesn't mean an organization has less responsibility, though in general, a cloud security architecture should follow cloud security best practices. The responsibilities each party has may depend on what the CSP offers and how it delivers its services. Innocent Paul Ojo is a cybersecurity business analyst. He joins me from London, United Kingdom, for more on this. Thank you so much, Mr. Ojo. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Tolu, for having me. Thank you.
Yes. How do you see cloud security evolving now in the next 5 years, considering the rapid adoption of cloud services?
In today's world and with the emerging technology, cloud security will continue to evolve to address increasingly, sophisticated threats, regulatory demands, and even growing complexity of cloud environments. Over the next 5 years, I would say, we can expect a stronger emphasis on zero trust architecture, AI-driven threat detection, and even enhanced, automation for real-time response, And then with the adoption of, confidential, computing and all of these segments around computing as well and AI, this will also gain traction, ensuring data remains encrypted even during, processing and enhanced security as well. In addition to that as well, I would say, cloud native application protection performs, extremely, well in platforms, and this will make it obviously gain integral posture, to securing distributed cloud, services within environments as well. And for this reason, I think businesses will need to prioritize continuous monitoring and adaptive, security measures, to stay ahead of, emerging threats in this area, because it's really critical.
It's a good way to start this conversation. Now, what are the most critical emerging vulnerabilities in cloud environments that businesses should be aware of?
Thank you very much, Tolu, for having me. Some of the pressing vulnerabilities include misconfigured cloud resources, which remain one of the most leading causes of cloud breaches, and this is very critical to the growth of every business. For example, identity access management weaknesses, such as, say, overprivileged accounts or poor API security also pose significant threats and risk. We can refer to these as very high level risk. And in addition to that as well, businesses should be aware of container and Kubernetes security flaws, insecure CI and CD pipelines, and supply chain vulnerabilities. They're quite high in this case as well, And then we also could look at, very critical area like the growth of the business as well. And this is because, even more organizations rely on serverless computing and edge computing, to make day-to-day business easier and even smarter. And some of these will make new attack surfaces emerge in the nearest future and requiring enhanced security visibility and proactive risk management. These are quite some areas that we really need to evaluate extensively.
Well, with the rise of multi-cloud and hybrid cloud strategies, for me, I'm worried about the security challenges that organizations could face and how they can mitigate them.
Yeah, multi-cloud and hybrid cloud environment introduced, increased risk into its complexity, to be honest, Inconsistent security policies are also one of the things that, I would say play a key role in this, and even expanded attack surfaces as well. These are very big issues though, And again, organizations often struggle with visibility and control across different cloud platforms, making centralized security, management very crucial. To mitigate against this, some of the things that businesses really need to look into are things like implementing cloud security posture management, cloud workload protection platforms for continuous compliance and threat detection, and then things like standardized identity access management policies across all cloud environments to prevent identity-based attacks. And then obviously to add to that as well, the use of zero trust principles to limit access, and then obviously to enforce strict authentication. Those would really, really help. And then we can also ensure that robust encryption for data in transit and data at rest, regardless of whether, whichever cloud provider it is as well, would also play a key role into the security, architecture. And we can also look into investing in automated threat intelligence, incident response to quick detection, and then obviously to remediate security threats. These are things that I think would really, really, really go a long way to help in this particular case.
Yeah, getting more interesting, I must say, Innocent. Now, how can businesses balance cloud innovation with robust security measures without compromising performance and, of course, efficiency?
Yeah, the key to balancing innovation and security is quite tricky sometimes because it lies solely in embedding security into developmental lifecycle or development lifecycle rather than, treating it as an afterthought. Just like they say, prevention is better than cure to look. So we can look at that as a key area that businesses really needs to start looking into. Businesses should, rather adopt, like for example, shift left approach in DevSecOps, integrating security early in the developmental phase of every project. So this process would help to mitigate such attacks later in the future when these go live. And also implementing automated security, testing, infrastructure as a code security checks, and runtime protection as well would help. Maintain a very strong security posture without impacting, any sort of like performance or, any issues at all within that particular spectrum. Additionally, maybe even leveraging AI-driven security analytics, and then maybe adaptive authentication as well would ensure that security controls not create unnecessary friction for users as well. By adopting maybe scalable and cloud native security solutions, businesses can also innovate while maintaining efficiency and compliance within these critical areas.
But let's now look at the role with which AI and automation plays in enhancing cloud security and the risks associated with their implementation.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tolu. AI and automation will be game changers in the nearest future because especially in the case of threat detection, response, and even predictive analytics. And this is because AI-driven security solutions can analyze vast amount of data in real time. That's beating a lot of effort from the human area. Identifying anomalies, insider threats, and even advanced persistent threats as well. Making everything even more efficient than traditional methods. And again, automation helps organizations to respond to incidents faster and more accurately, reducing human error and operational overhead. We can also still say that this, could cut costs for the organizations as well, in terms of, getting things done even more accurately. But however, Tolu, we must not leave out the critical aspect, which is not neglecting the high risk involved. This includes false positives, maybe adversarial AI attacks as well, or even over reliance on automation. These are very critical critical issues, Tolu. Because attackers can also be using AI to enhance their techniques, making AI powered threat intelligence very, very crucial. Very crucial, Tolu. Very crucial.
So in wrapping up this conversation, what really is the future for the entire industry? There's this focus on AI. We see that there is the shift towards that end. But how do you see that with regards to affecting jobs? Or do you see any negatives in this? Because we have identified so many positives in it.
I won't say there are any negatives in it. It all depends on how it plays out at the end of the day. AI will only enhance the, AI will only enhance the, the efficiency and the delivery of jobs within
a workspace.
Exactly, yeah. So, it will only help in enhancing these whole sectors in the long run. But it all depends on how it's being used. But if it's being manipulated or being, used in a way that could cause, more havoc and harm, that's the critical area that security needs to deal with.
That's it. But if you look at Nigeria now, finally, how well are we keen into all of these technical advancements? A lot is going on in that space. But if you're to assess where we are as a country, are we doing well, and what more can we do to get better?
Yeah, we are doing quite well. We are doing really, really well. But Nigeria, for example, we shortage of cybersecurity professionals can play a key role in making that country or the continent at large a high vulnerable and putting it in a high vulnerable position.
Yeah.
But what we can do, obviously, there's not enough money to be put into security, and so I think organizations and the government really needs to throw a bit more attention into this area, because it's quite critical. Because if we were to obviously measure up to the standard of the rest of the world, there's a lot needs to be done.
So we need a lot of experts like you to help us do some work around here for security, firewalls and all of that. I want to thank you so much, Innocent. It's really been an interesting conversation. Innocent Paul Ojo is a cybersecurity business analyst. Hope to see you again on the show very soon. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
All right, then he joined us from London in the United Kingdom, making real sense of issues around cloud security and emerging vulnerabilities around that space. Well,